already?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess as a historian, the first thing I would say is that there is a precedent for this, and that is that what the white Southern Democratic Party in the 1940s, 50s, 60s worked really hard to disenfranchise black voters, and at a certain point they realized they couldn't do that by just saying, if you're black you can't vote, so they tried to come up with more creative ways of achieving that goal without being overtly racial. And so that's part of the reason that it seems so striking to me that what's happening here is sort of a throwback to that. It's a clear, even though the Republican Party denies it, it seems pretty clear to me this is an attempt to prevent not just black voters, but the kinds of voters who traditionally vote Democratic from being able to register to vote. So from a historical perspective, that's what's troubling to me. In terms of public policy, it's an attempt to fix a problem that doesn't exist. So I mean, if there is voter fraud that's happened in the past, that voter fraud is not the result of voter impersonation, right? If you're gonna cheat in an election, you don't do it by figuring out who's not going to vote, and then let's say you want to do it in a particular precinct, you're going to have at least 200 people to figure out 200 people that won't show up, and then organize 200 other people and say, you're this person, you give them each an assignment, then they have to go one at a time. That's just not the way you're going to throw an election. The way you do that is by cheating from the inside. So if you're really serious about stopping voter fraud, that's not how you would do it. And then finally, it really ticks me off that one of the provisions is to make it more difficult for college students to vote. And like, I have a daughter who's a senior at High Point University, and one of the provisions is if she registers to vote there, I can't claim her on my income tax, my state income tax, which means she has to now register here in Elon and vote absentee. So the result of that is they're forcing her to vote absentee, which is the least secure of all voting. So they supposedly are trying to do away with election fraud, but they're pushing college students into a less secure way of voting. So it just makes no sense. Not to mention my mother, who doesn't drive, she would have a hard time. She's going to have to now go find someone to take her to the driver's license bureau and get a new driver's license because she's since moved into a retirement community and her driver's license doesn't match her voting registration. Anyway, it's all ridiculous to me, and it kind of makes me angry.